It's payday weekend. Time for some pad thai. Welcome back to the Four Seasons. I'm your host, Ken Johnson. And, it seems like the paycheck is doing less and less over time. You look back just, 4 years ago? 5 years ago? We had half the gas prices, inflation was less, you still could get goods and services. It was a different world. And so now our economy's being wrecked. Doesn't look to be getting much better. Prices are going up, but pay is still what it was. So what I decided to do is show you how to make a very kind of little more expensive, but not quite expensive meal, and it still tastes like it came from a restaurant. The main key to all this is going to be what we call mise en place, and that just means to have everything cut up in little containers ready to go in the order you need them, so that you can dump at the precise time that you're supposed to dump in this recipe. So it's as long as you got a wok or a really big skillet, something that you can do something in, this is going to be a very easy meal to do. Stick around. So the first thing that we need for our dish is to give these onions a haircut. Bluford, say hello to everybody. Oop, Dee Dee called him. Anyway, so we got the onions cut, so they got a haircut. You can see the radishes. So this will give the radishes room to get air, get some light, so that they can be growing. And then the onions, they'll stimulate them to grow more. They'll get bigger. So this is going to help out this whole container. So it does good to clip them off. Plus, I needed a good amount of onions for these two dishes that I'm doing. And so, there you go. For our sauce, first thing I'm going to do is add in 1/4 of a cup of pressed dark brown sugar. Now, in the original pad thai recipes, it would normally be something like palm sugar. However, this is an Americanized version of that. Now, to that we're going to add in about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of crushed pepper. Now, I use a type of Mexican pepper that I love. It's really small. I think they call it Peking. I call it bird's eye. This is actually a pot grinder. This is made for marijuana. I bought it off of Amazon because it was advertised as a food grinder. And I don't recommend buying it because it don't have a safety switch or anything of that nature. But this is what I'm going to use for my pepper, and I'm using roughly a tablespoon because this is very hot. So now the pepper's been ground, I'll add that in. And people always wonder how you clean out your grinder. Just put a piece of white bread in there and turn it on, and it'll clean it out. Next, we're going to add the juice of 1 lime. And we're just squeezing this in, and you don't have to worry about seeds with a lime. So you don't need a special juice or anything of that nature. It just helps to roll it first before you cut it. Next is to cut up a garlic clove. So what you do is bash it. So I'll take my hand and hit this knife blade with my hand, and that will, I can't really do it with my finger, but since I don't have a here, let's see something here. Here with me for a second. Here, I'll use this jar and show you. You can do it with this jar here. Now it'll come peeled very easily because you bashed it off. I'll show you that. So it peels right off. Now I'll chop this up. Now 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. And trust me, if you would not be wrong for thinking that this stinks to high heaven, because it really is just nothing more than fermented fish and salt. Next thing that we're going to do is rice wine vinegar. So that's 2 tablespoons of that. And the next thing that we got is sesame oil. And this is toasted sesame oil. There you go. Now we're just going to mix this up. I'm just using the spoon to kind of incorporate that. And sesame oil, it's a unique ingredient. It has a heritage in Southern cooking as it does in Asian cooking. One of the old terms for it is benne, B-E-N-N-E. And it used to be grown in the South a lot. The greens were used as well as a sesame seed. In fact, the South was a huge producer of sesame oil, and that used to be a flavoring of choice. And the benne was used in companion gardening for years and years and years. And then it fell out of favor right around the time of the war, Northern Aggression, what people call the Civil War. Nothing about it was civil. So what you can do, and it's an old trick that Southerners used to do that most Southerners now don't know. You can take about 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil and add it to your water when you're boiling your rice. There's no rice in this dish, but just to put it in your hat for future cooking. You can do that with your rice, and it will make your rice taste 100% better. It will add something to your rice that has been missing, you didn't know it. Anyway, I'm going to mix this up right now. Give it a final taste test. Man, you could put that on a car bumper and it tastes good. Man, that's good. I'm going to put this aside. Ooh, got a kick to it too. Them peppers are hot. I'm going to let this marinate for a while, so I'm going to put some plastic wrap over it and just let it sit. So what's kind of funny is mixed all this up and it tastes really good. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, there's something missing. I know my sauce, it's missing something. I went back and looked at my recipe. I forgot to add the soy sauce. It needs 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Okay, now we're going to mix this back together and see if that should fix the problem. I was going to add salt to it. I was like, I don't add salt to this. Why am I not getting that salty flavor that I need? It was good, but it was missing something. Okay, I love it. Let me try this now. Oh yeah, baby. That's what it was missing. Oh yeah. So this is 2 pounds of pork that I partially froze and allowed me to get some fairly thin cuts. I'd say that's about 1/8 of an inch. A little bit more than 1/8 of an inch, not quite 1/4 of an inch thick. So that's not bad. And then it'll actually shrink down and be thinner than that. So that'll be perfect for our pad thai. So just using some kitchen scissors. These are not the best. They're from Harbor Freight, but good kitchen scissors. Just cut them up, large cut them. So I mean, you can tell that's roughly about 1 inch. So You don't have to cut them up fine. And roughly about a cup and a half is what my recipe calls for. This is a little bit more than a cup and a half, but it's really kind of subjective to how much you're trying to make. This right here will be enough, but in the recipe down below, in the description, you'll see that it calls for a cup and a half of scallions. Okay, I got me roughly about a cup and a half of peanuts. And this is a can of bean sprouts. Couldn't find fresh bean sprouts in the store. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this to kind of roll and crush these peanuts so that they're in pieces. Next, we're going to take this cilantro and just kind of finely chop it up. I'm going to use a pair of kitchen shears again. It's the easiest way of getting things cut. Just make sure that you give the cilantro a good rinse and shake out, because they can be gritty. So just make sure you wash them real good before you cut them. So that is one bunch of cilantro sliced up thin, or chiffonade, with some scissors. So this is how things are going to play out. After I fry out my meat, I'll take the meat out and then I'll add 10 ounces of carrot sticks. Then I'll add 22 ounces of the picked sweet pepper and 3 pepper and onion blend. From there I'm going to add my scallions, and because I couldn't find fresh at the market, I'm using 2 cans of Soy bean sprouts. Soy's always been an economical and fairly good quality brand, so I've already washed them a few times and drained them, so all the tin canny taste and everything is gone, and so we can use these now. So first step, put in some oil. This is sesame oil, and I've got the pan getting screeching hot. And then once it gets nice and hot, I'll add in the pork. Now we add in the pork. Fry it out. While the meat is frying out, I'm going to take 2 eggs, crack them, whip them up in this. Okay, the meat is now brown. This is where it gets really critical to be moving fast and have your meat in constant place. Everything's going to be 2 minutes. And I don't have time to play. So be watching this. To a hot pan, we're adding in our carrots. And we'll cook them for 2 minutes. While the carrot's cooking, I am putting in my my noodles. So they'll this is 16 ounces of noodles going into hot water. Next, we're adding in our picked sweet pepper and onion blend. Whew, things are heating up here. Next, we're going to add in our scallions. Hard to see those, but they're going in now. Tell me that don't look good right there. Man. Alright, so here's the mung bean sprouts going in. Now we stir in the egg. Get that all good and going. Now we add in the meat to this. Next we add in our sauce, and then we all add in our noodles. Noodles going in now. This is where a wok be handy. I just turn off the heat, let the residual heat finish it out, and then I stir well. When doing pad thai, one always needs to have plenty of lime sliced up for garnish and for squirting on your pad thai. So to garnish these, what you do first is you spread on your cilantro. And I like cilantro, and my wife likes cilantro, so we use a lot. That on there. Next, you spread a copious amount of peanuts on top. Now that's what a normal amount in a restaurant is, but my wife and I, we like to have extra peanuts on ours. The crunch is really where it's at. Now we garnish with lime. And again, we like lime. So I'll get this all garnished up. And there you go. That's my pad thai. If you will, hit that like button, subscribe, make a comment down below if you like this or you do it a different way, and I will see you again next time. Bye.
Before I go, I just want to give out a special word of thanks to the Wolf Cook for giving my page a shout out. If you get a chance, go by and see the Wolf Cook. He is a wonderful cook with restaurant quality meals that you can fix at home. They're economical and they taste wolfalicious. Awoo! See you next time.